I'm Miguel.
And we are, tonight in our 56th episode, we are talking the future of Friday the 13th, the latest in the legal battle, what is up next for Mr. Jason Voorhees. It is phenomenal to be back, man. I'm so happy. It's been what, close to 3.5 weeks now since we were live, since we did a show. So it is super good to be back. Miguel, man, how are you doing tonight?
I'm doing good. Guys, you could tell Brad was so excited about this because honestly, whenever he started, it cut out for me. Like he was so loud that my microphone could not capture any of that. All I heard was, "Hey, everybody." I was like, okay, he went a little bit too hard. But no, okay. I'm excited to be back, guys. So let's get this party going, man.
Let's get the party going, man. And man, everybody's live tonight. I know Dave and Tony, we're just doing a new episode of Two Dudes and Some Bullshit. Props to Mike and Jay. We watched a movie. They're celebrating 10 years today, man. 10 years of their channel.
Holy shit.
That's amazing. So huge A.
I don't have a beer, but I'll give you Fazoli's. So
I got my I am drinking a nice it's Leinenkugel's Toasted Bach.
Leinenkugel's, dude, Leinenkugel's pretty dope. I'm not gonna lie, their summer shady is fire. Wait,
I don't like this. I don't like it. I don't know what it is. I don't like it.
The summer shandy?
Yeah, I'm not wild about it. I'm not sure. I don't know what it is, but I'm not wild about it.
That's because you're a fall bitch.
What I do. I like fall beers, but this is okay. This is the best Leinenkugel's thing I've had. I didn't know what Bach beer was.
I don't know what Bach beer is.
It's a nice like wintry beer, but man, Mike and Jay, we watched a movie. Props to you guys.
Cheers, guys.
Congrats.
Yeah.
So I think they're live at 9. So congrats to them, man. It's awesome. Tonight we are talking Friday the 13th. I wanted to hop back in and start doing shows and talk about horror because while we were on our break, there was some news to drop about the legal battle and everything going on with Friday the 13th. If you're a Jason fan, if you're a fan of that franchise, I'm sure it's not new, the legal issues and the battle for this franchise between Victor Miller and Sean Cunningham, who both worked on the original film, Victor Miller being the screenwriter for the original Friday the 13th that released in 1980, Sean Cunningham being kind of the mastermind behind it and the guy that directed it and produced the film. So we're going to get into all those updates as well. First of all, man, Happy New Year. We haven't even got to talk to you guys to say Happy New Year. So Happy New Year.
I was right whenever we did our last episode. You're like, this is going to be the last episode for the year until we can come back. So yeah, I hope you guys are doing well. I hope you guys' New Year's has been doing okay, but I mean, we had a couple things we had to take care of. I got a new job and new place, as you can see.
Yeah.
On my walls is blank, but that's okay.
That's why my girl's looking like Scrooge.
Yeah.
With that blank gray background, but it's okay.
I know.
It'll be good, man. We just moved him into a new place. And like I said, it's funny because the beginning of the year is always like, I feel like it's always like starting fresh. Like for me, at least, I feel like, especially with everything going on, like I'm not really like a New Year's resolution type guy, but like, I don't know. I do have some goals for this year. I have goals like for myself. I have goals for the show. We have a lot of ideas and a lot that we want to do with Let's Talk Movies this year. A lot of people we want to have on the show, a lot of events we want to have. Super stoked about all of it. And I know we've probably crammed that down your throats in the last couple of shows we have had, but like we're just super excited about what's to come. And I'm so happy to be back. Like I'm kind of like jittery right now. Like I'm excited. I have a new background. He's got no background. I have a new background.
That's fine. You know what? It's gonna come back. It's gonna come back. Don't worry. Literally tomorrow it's gonna look completely different. It just so happens I had to move everything back in today. So I'll take care of the amenities later. So
So I spent the majority of my Christmas break redoing I redid some of my background. So Halloween Kills.
Tell a difference. Let's be honest. No.
I worked on this for like 9 hours, and I like the whole room. I mean, like parts you can't see as well. And I FaceTimed Miguel at like 9:30 at night, and I was like, "Bro, look at this. It's dope." And he was like, "What did you do?" I was like, "I hate you, man." But Halloween Kills extended cut. Welcome back, guys. How it's going, man? good to see you. Good to have you in the chat. By the way, if you are watching with us, whether you're watching live or after the fact, please be sure to leave us a like and consider subscribing to our channel. So let's get into this, man. It's been a crazy couple of weeks. On Saturday, we have our 57th episode, our most anticipated movies of 2022. We meant to do this a little earlier, but of course, like we said, life gets in the way. You all know how that goes. We're going to talk about our top 10 most anticipated movies of this year, and there are some good ones coming out, man. You got a lot of Marvel stuff, Thor, Love and Thunder, Doctor Strange, Morbius, Black Panther, but you also have, franchise enders. You have Halloween Ends. You have Jurassic World Dominion. Dawn of a new franchise. You have the Batman. We have the new Texas Chainsaw film, whatever the hell that new Texas Chainsaw film is going to be. I mean, let's be real. I don't even know what to. I still don't know what to make of what they're doing with that franchise and the whole switch to Netflix thing. I don't know. I'm not sold. So we'll have to see how that goes. But
that's only one trailer out, so.
Right. And we don't really have anything to go off of. We've only seen Leatherface really twice. We've seen him in that silhouette pic where he's standing like in the doorway. And then there was also the shot where he's like holding the face, like the skin up in the sunlight.
Yeah, like, that poor fucker's
look
face.
At my creation. Yeah. So I don't know. We don't know what to do with that film. But we would be doing a disservice if we didn't mention we also lost some icons in the last couple of weeks as well.
Yeah, we started out
in the entertainment world.
No. So we ended the year, kind of rough. Whoever wrote the season finale of 2021, you did some vile shit right there. Just saying. You taking America's grandma, out in the last day. We were just about to leave this fucking year, and then you took our good lady Betty White. But I've had some people say some dumb shit too, saying too soon, and I was like, well, is it really though?
Well, I mean, here's the thing. Of the three entertainment legend deaths, and this almost sounds insensitive of me. Of the three of them, because my mom even mentioned this. Shout out to my awesome mom. It's sad but true, and it's kind of one of those strange, almost supernatural things. It always comes in groups of threes. And in this case, it was Betty White, Sidney Poitier, and Bob Saget, unfortunately. And I was always a huge Betty White fan. I mean, I grew up, as silly as it might sound to some people, although no, I take that back. Because listen, I grew up watching the Golden Girls. I did. My grandmother watched the Golden Girls. That was our thing. We watched that show together. I still put if I want to watch something like mindless, my wife puts on Friends, I'll put on the Golden Girls. I've seen every episode. I could probably quote half the episodes. I mean, I grew up watching it. And I was actually kind of shocked. I hopped on, unrelated, the day after she died. I hopped on the Killer Flicks Facebook page that Lee McCoy, Drum Dums, and a lot of those other guys run.
Yeah,
I was shocked. Everybody was talking about Betty White. Literally,
bro, everybody
loved her, and everybody was like, "I loved her on the Golden Girls," and I was like, "I wasn't the only one. I knew I wasn't the only one. Everybody loves the Golden Girls." So,
it's not even the fact that it's the Golden Girls. It's the fact that she's literally a national icon. Mm-hmm. She's just
Mary
everywhere
Tyler
in the
Moore.
fucking entertainment. Yeah, she was everywhere in the entertainment spectrum. I remember her from the fucking Snickers commercial, which is by far one of my favorites.
When they're playing football?
Yeah. She's like, I forgot how they went. How did it go? It was like, I don't know.
You're not yourself when you're hungry.
Yeah, you're not yourself when you're hungry. But Betty White said some vile shit to old boy, and I was hilarious. Like, damn. Yeah, I love Betty White. So I was really sad whenever I found out. I was at work. I was the one that told everyone at work. I was like, guys, I hate to tell you this right now. I know the shift just started. Betty White's gone, man.
Yeah. Sierra's got my back, man. No shame in Golden Girls. No shame. I'm serious. Listen, you make fun of me all you want. Good thing I don't care what anybody thinks.
I've never made fun of you.
No, I'm not saying you. I have a Golden Girls shelf. I have 4 Golden Girls shot glasses. I have a mug. I have a Pez dispenser. Like I love it, man. It's a part of my childhood. So rest in peace to Betty White. I honestly cried a little bit. I did. That one made me. There's not too many celebrity deaths that I can think back on that truly made me emotional. Hers made me emotional. Stan Lee made me emotional, and Betty White did as well. So
I would say probably like Robin Williams is definitely one of them that made me
Robin Williams
emotional.
was one too.
I'll never forget. I was in we were in marching band, and we had to stop the show. I'm pretty sure
you and I were together.
Yeah, we were together.
We were like standing next to each other.
Yep, and we were all chilling. And then one of our friends, he was on his phone, and he just let out a giant like "fuck," and our band director was like, "What happened?"
With all our teachers.
Yeah, and our band director was like, "What? What happened?" And he was like, "Fucking Robin Williams died. I'm done." And then our band director was like, "All right, let's take a 10." So he understood it too, because he just found out. Everyone found out in that like 60 seconds, saying we literally took a 10 so we can all like, understand what was going on. And I'm pretty sure that was the same case for everyone for Betty White. I'm pretty sure everyone took their 15 just to mourn her death for a little bit. I feel like at that time, everyone should have had a bereavement day, because that was a loss of a family member. If I'm being completely honest,
but it was so many people. Like, they even say Bob Saget was America's dad, Danny Tanner, and it's like she was kind of America's grandmother. You know what I mean? She was. She just I don't know. She was cool though. She was like the cool grandmother. Like, she was the grandmother that would like sneak in a little bit of vodka and like let you have some. Like, you know what I mean?
I was gonna say like sneak you $100 bills. Damn, son, your grandma's getting you fucked up.
She was amazing. So, huge rest in peace to Betty White. 99 years old. I know a lot of people have said she went too young. Man, she lived an incredible life.
If you guys wanna look up how much of life she's lived, just look it up. Just look up Betty White's life and in correlation to the decades. Done a lot.
Well, and she's been
through a lot.
We think about her in terms of like her contribution to entertainment and to the entertainment world, but she even joined the military to help out when she was younger. I mean, like, she was an incredible human being. And I think it's really important to remember that as well. And of course, we also had the loss of Sidney Poitier, who was the first African-American actor to win an Academy Award, to win an Oscar, which was incredible. I actually wasn't very familiar with him, unfortunately, until his passing, but I know there were a lot of people, a lot of actors, a lot of people in the entertainment world have had really beautiful tributes to him as well. So
as he should.
Obviously, that's an incredible accomplishment in and of itself. And especially, you mentioned this earlier off camera, some of the stuff that's gone on with some of the actors guilds and wanting more diversity in some of those things. You have to look at that and think, yeah, that was a big accomplishment. Like, that was, he did something really crazy. And that was amazing. So
that was because I was I was referring to a joke Ricky Gervais said about their American foreign press, is they're all impeccably racist. So it's like that's what I'm getting at.
If you don't know, we have a video about that. We talked about that a long time ago when all that stuff broke. But our thoughts and prayers with Sidney Poitier, and then especially was it yesterday, Bob Saget?
Yes, it was yesterday.
Of course, yesterday the sad news of Danny Tanner, Bob Saget, comedy legend, entertainment legend, was the star of Full House. It's funny because I actually earlier today I was watching. I saw a lot of people talk about like his stand-up, and I guess
his stand-up was impeccable.
I had never watched his stand-up before. Really, again, sad until he died, and this has kind of resurfaced all this stuff. But who he was as Danny Tanner and who he was in his stand-up is like complete
night and day. That's what makes it so funny, though. That's what makes it so funny, is that he could be America's dad, and then during the day, but then late at night, oh my God, he's the most vile guy you could think of.
There was a YouTube video that was Bob Saget's dirtiest jokes, and I was like, what? And I clicked on it, and I started watching it, and I was like,
yep.
I was like, oh crap! It's like, whoa, man! I didn't know any of that about him.
I think the fact that it makes it so funny is the fact that we all considered him like America's dad or whatever, and of the household, and he still gets away with saying all the shit he said. Yeah. But that just makes him such a great comedian. So I give mad respects. Rest in peace, Bob Saget.
And I think I'll have to rewatch it. There's an episode where he was on Joe Rogan on the. What the hell is,
he was.
What's Joe Rogan's podcast?
The Joe Rogan
called?
Experience.
Yes. He was on Joe Rogan, and Joe Rogan asked him about that. He was like, how do you go from Danny Tanner, which is like the most wholesome, good dude on the planet, and then do stand-up like that? And he was like, there's a time and a place, Like there is. Like you have to know your audience. You have to know, like, as an entertainer, you have to know like when to turn that on, when to turn that off. Like, and he seemed like the kind of guy that felt like having that like diversity as a performer was really, really important. And I respect that. I really do. Because I think there is a time and a place. I think there can be a good balance. Even Betty White had that, though. You know what I mean? Betty White had a good balance of wholesome and funny, but she could also say some raunchy stuff, and she could be hilarious at times too, And that's not to say that you have to be raunchy to be hilarious. You know what I mean? I mean, look at Jerry Seinfeld and Ray Romano. I mean, that's the good thing about comedy, is I know everybody has their preferences, but I feel like there's no one way to do it correctly.
No, there's multiple fallacies that you can use to, like, to appeal to your fans. Because like you said, Jerry Seinfeld, Jim Gaffigan, all of those folks, I mean, they're all relatively there's not much use of profanity, but the way they handle their comedy and their comedic timing is much different than, say, like your Kevin Hart or Chris Rock,
right?
Or Eddie Murphy,
Dave Chappelle.
Yeah, because all of them, each one of them have their niche. And is it cool? Is it funny sometimes when someone says, when they walk into the stage and like, hey, where are you from? Buffalo. Fuck Buffalo. And everyone has a laugh. Yeah. Like, that can be funny sometimes, but other times it's like, no, that doesn't work. So, I mean, it's just the fact that some people have different ways to communicate to their audience members.
Right.
As a comedian, I think that's great. And I think this is why comedians are so diverse and there's such a close-knit family, because they all have their way of connecting with the fans. So that's why I have such a love. I didn't know Bob Saget from his television. I knew him from his comedic adventures. So I mean, that's why I
didn't watch Full House.
I did not watch Full House.
Who are you?
I swear to God.
Where did you grow up?
I was watching my dad, George Lopez. I was watching that in that nick of night. That's fair. That was me, son.
I remember not being able to fall asleep and George Lopez being on at 2 a.m.
And you see those people flying in the air. Yeah, that was
Duh.
George Lopez was mine. I understand if Bob Saget's yours, but I loved George Lopez at the time, and I love Bob Saget whenever he was doing his comedy tour. So more power to him. Rest in peace.
But it's never a fun day when you lose somebody. But I think the good thing about the entertainment industry, and the good thing about content creators, and I don't say that in terms of YouTubers. I don't say that in separate that. I don't mean that. But the good thing about people who act, who, even you could say this about musicians, people who like leave this stuff behind. The good thing about, or not the good thing about them passing, but it's comforting, like, to be able to go back and watch the Golden Girls, and to go back and watch Full House, and to watch these movies and think of like their contribution and everything that they did. I mean, these people have lives that were well lived. So I mean, props to them. Prayers to their families and their friends, but it's cool to have this stuff to look back on. So icons.
to like clarify on that, I think it's the fact that like their lives are forever immortalized.
Yes,
generations to see. Yes. It's exactly what Hagrid said in that Harry Potter special. He said, "Soon I will not be here, but Hagrid will always stay."
Dude, that
right there, that line right there will break your fucking heart.
I know,
but it is very true.
Because I love Hagrid, man. Hagrid's my favorite.
We all love Hagrid.
So in memoriam to them, that was our little. We had to say something. I mean, it's important to say that. So, but that kind of brings me to my next question. I know you've been super busy. What's everybody been watching lately?
Oh, okay. I thought I said I was like,
no.
I did not like where that question was going.
We did watch we watched the Harry Potter reunion. That was really cool. Awesome to see. I love stuff like that, like getting to see, the behind the scenes of hearing the creators talk about how things happened. And, because you don't, obviously you're watching through a different, when you watch a documentary or a behind the scenes spot or things like that, like it's just cool to see like their creative process and like how they made that stuff come to life,
Yeah, I totally get that.
So, but I really enjoyed the Harry Potter reunion. I'll tell you what we've been super into lately. Daredevil.
Hell yeah, brother. I gotta admit the Daredevil. It wasn't even no. Yeah, I'll take credit for that because they started watching it after No Way Home, but even before No Way Home, I was like, you have to watch Daredevil. Give it another try because he never watched. He didn't watch it. He only watched like half of the first season.
Yeah, I remember when Daredevil came out and I was hype and I was like, this is really cool. But it was also, we were in like heat of the Infinity Saga. And stuff was starting to, okay, I guess he's leaving me. Stuff was starting to play out. And I was like, well, what are you doing?
What?
Where'd you go?
I went to shut my door. I think I got that little echoey thing, so I was trying to see if that helps. Yeah.
I was like, what? I was like, I guess he's ditching me now.
No.
But when Daredevil came out, we were in the heat of the Infinity Saga, and I remember thinking to myself, I was like, I can't put like I made it like halfway through the first season, loved it, but I was like, I just got like we said, life gets in the way. I got busy, and I was like, this isn't a part of the MCU. I can't put stock in this right now. I'm worried about all this. You know what I mean? I was just like, whatever.
Yeah,
but
I get that.
Since Wilson Fisk was in Hawkeye, since Charlie Cox's Matt Murdock was in No Way Home,
That's
and this
no
is
longer
kind
a
of
spoiler, bitch.
No, it's not. This has kind of sparked like the whole conversation again. Like Daredevil's actually been trending a little bit.
As he
and
should.
There's been a lot of conversation. I know Vincent D'Onofrio is very open about, he was like, I want to be a big part of the MCU. And from what we understand, if you follow Daniel Rickman, binge watch this, My Time to Shine, hello, a lot of those, leaker accounts and scooper accounts, Geekosity, Murphy's Multiverse, a lot of those great accounts to follow on Twitter if you're into that kind of thing. It looks like there is a lot of Matt Murdock and a lot of Wilson Fisk coming in the MCU. And I'm hyped about that because honestly, I think, if you look at that first season of Daredevil, it's one of the best origin stories of all time.
It is. But one thing that I liked about it was that it didn't make his origin story like, yeah, obviously, like the first 2 minutes is him, like losing his sight, but after that, it jumped right into him being Daredevil.
Yeah, but it's also like he didn't start jumping from buildings and doing stuff like that until the very end. You know what I mean? Like there were little things where I was like, he's becoming Daredevil, like the two stick things.
Yeah,
using them, like he wouldn't use them until Stick came back, and even like becoming a better fighter, like little things, like he didn't like I felt like he didn't actually become Daredevil until that final 2 episodes.
Yeah, the name that they always gave him was like the devil of Hell's Kitchen. Yeah, so
or the Man in the Mask.
Yeah, so that was literally it. So his name was never like solidified until later on in the.
It was the last episode.
Yeah,
because so cop, like when he beats the crap out of Wilson Fisk in the alley, and the cop is like, "Yo, man, he double handcuffs Kingpin. He puts that double handcuffs on him."
Yeah.
And he's like, "Yo, man, what do I call you when I call it?" And he looks up and he's just like scaling buildings. And then of course Karen's like, "Daredevil? They're calling him Daredevil?" I'm like, I dig it. I
dig it.
I'm here for it.
Yeah, the show is absolutely baller. One, because the cinematography. I know people dog on the cinematography of it, but it's dope.
Oh
And
no, I think it's good.
yeah, it's
I
pretty
think it's
dope.
good.
But yeah, people were dogging on it because it's a TV series. No,
I think it works.
Daredevil beats all of CW's fucking DC
Oh
shows
God,
hands
yeah.
down. And to this day, Daredevil is probably one of the best superhero shows out there.
They don't even
Still.
hold a candle to
Yeah.
Daredevil.
And by the way, CW is currently bankrupt. So fuck you, DC fans. Fuck you. Let's see who picks up any of those shows now. I'm kidding,
Bro,
guys.
I don't know if you've heard about the DCEU stuff about what's getting ready to happen, or the rumors about what's getting ready to happen. I
Yeah,
just
yeah.
don't. I'm not gonna count my chickens. I'm not gonna. Look.
Yeah, let's just save that for another episode because I don't
We
want us to
will.
get too
And
well
honestly,
into the well.
I don't even want to speculate on it. Like, I just don't know. I'm hyped. They're bringing Michael Keaton back to play Batman, even if it's just one time. But it just sounds like they're. I for the life of me, I don't understand what the DCEU is doing. I just
Well,
don't.
it's like you said. It's literally like they're given this golden egg, and they say, "What do I do with it?" That's
But
pretty
it's
much
like
it.
I just don't understand. Like they actually had a good thing going. Like when the Snyder cut came out, I was like, maybe they get it. Maybe they
No.
understand where this needs to go. But no, these recent leaks that are coming out about the DCU, I'm like, what where did this come from? Like, what does this have to do with anything that you have set up that you have going on? I mean, there's rumors of obviously. I think Batfleck is going to die in this film, and then the current rumor, I guess I'll throw up the possible spoiler alert thing.
Nah. Why
Maybe I'll
bother?
throw it up. I mean, I don't know. The rumor is that Michael Keaton is going to help Batgirl, or I guess is going to help Batfleck find a new Batman for their universe. And it's going to be Batgirl, and you're going to have Supergirl. There's going to be no Superman or Batman. It's just going to be Batgirl and Supergirl.
Hey, by all means, Henry Cavill, come back, come to Marvel and play as Captain
And
Britain at this point.
I believe they're having a new, like they're creating a new Justice League out of that. So
By all means, do what you got to do.
I don't know. I get it. I understand. I
don't, but we'll go with it.
I don't know. We'll see. It's one of those things. I am excited for the Flash. I do think it's going to be a really cool project to see where that goes. But I just don't know about what comes after that. I mean, it's just I don't know. I don't get it.
Oh, dude, you sound so fucking depressed by it, man.
Well,
it's not gonna be that big of a deal, okay? We'll be fine.
Honestly, my only hope for DC is the Batman, like Matt Reeves, the Batman.
Yeah, honestly, that's the only thing I'm pretty excited for, other than Shazam or something like that. Yeah, those two I'm pretty hyped for. But anything else, you kind of lost me. But
I mean, even I know like everybody was worried once Disney acquired the rights to Deadpool and some of the Fox stuff. I know everybody was worried about what they're going to do with Deadpool, but from what I've read, I actually think they're going to do Deadpool right. I think they're going to let Deadpool live in that Deadpool world. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I think they're going to let that happen. And I think they're going to let him stay rated R. I think he's still going to be raunchy. Is he going to cross over with some of them? Of course he will. But I don't know. I'm getting more and more excited for Marvel stuff, and I'm getting less and less excited for DC stuff, except for the Batman. I think the Batman might be one of the best superhero movies of all time. We'll have to wait and see. But I have a really good feeling.
Yeah, don't make that statement yet. Jesus Christ.
No,
man.
but I have a really good feeling about it. So I know we're here to talk Friday the 13th. So let's go ahead and get into that. I'll put the timestamps. And so if you've made it this far, then I assume you're, hanging with us to the bitter end. But the timestamps will be in the description as well. So let's talk some Friday the 13th, man. So obviously the lawsuit, if you followed this franchise, if you're a horror fan, you know that Friday the 13th has been gridlocked in a lawsuit between the original two creators of the franchise, or should I say of the original 1980 film. Victor Miller, who was hired as the writer of the original screenplay, and Sean Cunningham, who kind of came up with the idea. He directed the film, he produced the film, along with a couple others, but they have been kind of battling for who owns the rights to the Friday the 13th franchise. Which really sucks because until that's settled, and it looks like it might be settled in court, at least the legal part of it might be settled. We can't get any closer to getting a new Friday the 13th film because this lawsuit has been holding the franchise up.
So for those of you that don't know, like exactly what the logistics of what they're fighting over, Brad, I mean, why don't you just explain to them what's going on? Because we have talked about it, but that episode was a while ago. So, yeah. I mean, if we can just go over what's all that's transpired and what's honestly being fought for, you'd understand how fucking stupid this is.
Well, it's basically, I mean, it's pretty simple. They both believe that they should own the rights. Victor Miller says it was and of course, I'm kind of paraphrasing some of this. Victor Miller, I from what I understand, kind of is like, I wrote the script, I wrote the characters, I did this. And of course, Sean Cunningham is like, but it was my thing. Like, we hired you to write the script. It was my film. I directed it. I produced it. I came up with it. So there's that battle. They're both trying to grab the teddy bear, but they're ripping the arms off while they do it.
It's like, who wrote Mrs. Robinson, pretty much, honestly. It's like, who the fuck did?
So, I mean, that's pretty much it. But again, the sad part about this is that and of course, this is public opinion. This is just, this is my kind of thoughts on it as somebody who is kind of irrelevant to the lawsuit itself. But literally the name of our show, we're going to talk movies. I feel like if the two of them would just come together and be like, look, we created one of the most successful franchises in movie history. Split the royalties, make another movie. Let's go.
Yeah, exactly. That's what fucking pisses me off.
You literally a ton of money.
Yeah, you literally have like, who do you have? You have Freddy Krueger, Chucky, Jason, Michael Myers, and probably Pinhead.
Honestly,
you have, and I wouldn't even put Pinhead in there. You have four of the most influential horror figures in the horror genre out of the litany of other trials and errors of different types of murderers, slashers, and whatnot in the horrorverse that just didn't pan out. But these four like pivotal characters, and you're not going to say, hey, you know what? We're going to get some money no matter what movie we throw out, we're going to get some money. So why don't we just split the royalties or come to some agreement to what percentage it is? And who cares? We're going to get a shit ton of money no matter what we get. And that's what pisses me off is that I get like, you know, we got to fight for what we own, blah, 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 blah. I totally get that. But in the grand scheme of things, in regards to what you want to give to the fans, because that's the reason why you want Jason Voorhees or you want the Friday the 13th title, is so you can make something for the fans. Otherwise, what are you fighting in this court battle for? Just figure something out and give the fans what they want, because everybody wants another Friday the 13th movie, because we haven't had one since 2014, 15 maybe?
Oh, it's been since 2009.
Fuck me, never mind.
The reboot was in 2009, and except for the Never Hike Alone series, Never Hike Alone and Never Hike in the Snow, and there's several films.
And that's what you get with this. Yeah, and that's what you get with this franchise. If you can't figure anything out, we're gonna make our own shit. That's as simple as that. Not we, but like the fans.
In my eyes, if I am Sean Cunningham and I'm Victor Miller, I'm looking at Never Hike Alone. If you're Sean
Cunningham and I'm Victor Miller, we're literally talking to each other right now. I'd be like, dog, you want to make some more money or do you want to keep fighting?
But if I'm looking at the success of the Never Hike Alone stuff, of the Friday the 13th Vengeance stuff, and there's several Friday the 13th fan films that are good, that are like cinema quality, professional fan films. I mean, you watch them. I have both Never Hike Alones on the shelf behind me. I contributed to them, and I will contribute to Never Hike Again. I believe that's the next one. Vince, if you're watching, correct me, but I gladly, because I feel like if I'm those two guys, I'm like, oh,
we got something here.
We could be making money off of this. Like, people are still interested in this. People still want this. I don't understand why this whole lawsuit has. I don't know. I just don't understand, because in my eyes, I'm thinking, you guys did something really cool. Like, you guys genuinely made a franchise that people love, that people genuinely love. I mean, look at this. Look at that. Look at this. I'm going to turn my camera. It's the part of my room you guys never see. I have all those Hawks I painted. Like, I have Friday the 13th posters. Like, I mean, I love this franchise. Everybody loves this franchise. If you're a horror fan, you love this franchise. And I just don't understand why you would let something get in the way of what you created. You created something awesome that people love. Why are you fighting over it?
Over who did it
40 years later? I mean, like, come on, man. And again, nothing against that. I have nothing against Sean Cunningham. I have nothing against Victor Miller. It's just, it's kind of my thoughts on the whole situation.
Look, I would not have made a fuss.
Art says you guys are dope AF.
Thanks, Art.
We're fired up.
It's good to see you. Yeah, it's good to see you again, Art. But yeah, let's be honest. Like, if I would understand the fact if it was like, after 3 movies, like maybe they fight over it and the fight probably was like 6 months, and then, hey, guess what? We got to fight 13th 4 or something like that. That would have been cool. But it's been since 2009, and then they've been in a complete custody battle, which is what I'm calling it now.
That's basically what it is.
Custody battle for another fucking damn near a decade. And look where it got us. Fucking nowhere near a movie. I can't
open this beer.
And after like so many other fan movies, they don't understand. Like, hey, would they want another movie? Let's give them another movie. I don't care if it's a fucking bomb. Just give me another Friday the 13th movie.
And I even think about John Carpenter, and I know I'm paraphrasing this. I know I'm just kind of being silly. And I mean, look, in the grand scheme of things, this is not it. I don't lay in bed at night and think, gosh, I want another Jason movie. I wish.
No, this guy calls me almost every night complaining about it, so he's lying.
No, I again, in the grand scheme of things, it's not that big of a deal. But it's so frustrating, and it's so silly to me. Like, if you look at John Carpenter, and again, I'm paraphrasing, he was like, look, I love this I love Halloween. I love what I created, but I never wanted there to be a sequel anyways. But if you're going to do sequels, I'll help you out, sure. But as long as somebody slides a paycheck in my jacket pocket, we're good. Like have fun, enjoy yourself. You know what I mean?
Like, I don't know. Like, John Carpenter.
Listen, put that royalty check in my pocket, and we're solid. We're golden.
Yeah, John Carpenter's like logic behind like his creation with Michael Myers. It's brilliant. He says, "Yes, I created a pretty dope horror icon. I initially just wanted one, but if you guys wanted more, just slide me a check and do what you want to do. Don't go outlandish about it, but just slide me a check and tell a story you want to tell."
I mean, listen.
But where are we going with fucking Jason?
If you created, and it blank slate, if you created a movie that donned a 8, 9, 10 plus film franchise.
Oh no, it's 12. Yeah, I think it's 12 movies.
Whatever. If you created a franchise like that, in 40 years, would you be like, you know what?
Exactly.
I would just be like, this is like, I'm so glad that I did this. I'm so glad that people are still loving this 40 years later. I'm honored that they want more of this. Like, yeah, do what you will. Like, this is cool. And I know, I believe there was a lawsuit prior to this one involving Sean Cunningham, where I think, especially dealing with the Friday the 13th reboot from 2009, that he said he didn't get the correct royalties from that film as well, which I get it. That's a completely different story. If you're told these are the royalties that you are to be given per film that they make and you don't get that, that's an issue. I would completely, I understand that. Or if it's a matter of putting your name on it. I mean, based on characters created by Sean Cunningham and Victor Miller. Cool. I would do. I mean, like, yeah, I want my name in it. If I created it, put my name in it. But I'm not going to sit there and throw fingers again and rip the arms off the teddy bear and be like, hey, this is mine.
Yeah,
you know what
it's
I mean?
okay. This is fucked up for me to say, but like this makes me think of like the deadbeat dad who leaves his child, and the child becomes like a fucking sports star, and all of a sudden he comes back and is like, hey, where's my check?
You just went there.
I just went there.
Oh
But that's
God.
what it feels like to me. That's what it feels like. Honestly, honest to God, that's what it feels like. And it's like it's like the most childish thing ever. It's like you should have taken care of this like a long time ago. But I mean, that's the movie industry. Like, you get tunnel vision whenever you see something that's great and you just keep gung-hoing it all the way, but you really don't look at the legal aspects of it, and you don't realize like how much is at stake with each of one of your shares.
Yeah.
So I don't know. Like, I'm not surprised by the lawsuit that came out, but I am surprised with the fact of how long it's taken. Because if I'm being honest, guys, like, yes, Jason is an icon. Friday the 13th is a serious franchise in the horror community, but it shouldn't take this long to figure out this lawsuit. It really should not. Fucking the Sony thing, the Sony and Marvel thing lasted what, 4 months?
It wasn't very long.
Yeah, it was like
less
4
than a year.
months. Yeah.
I believe this lawsuit, and of course, COVID plays a factor in this. I know COVID plays a factor.
Fucking COVID, man.
But this
Skype
lawsuit,
in court, yeah.
I think it was February of 2020 that this broke for the first time. It was a while ago.
Yeah, it broke. That means it could have happened a while ago. Yeah, it could have started a long time ago. It just so happens that it broke at that time.
Yeah. Halloween Kills Extended Cut says, I wonder what a new Jason movie would look like. We're actually going to get into that towards the end. Let's do this. If you don't know, Larry Zerner, who played Shelley in Friday the 13th Part 3, he is actually now a lawyer in the entertainment community. And he's done really well for himself. And he actually, he's been doing a lot of coverage on this. And he's been doing a really, really great job at breaking down some of the Friday the 13th stuff. By the way, Halloween Kills tomorrow. Comes out tomorrow on
shit! I thought you were talking about Halloween Ends. Is there more news? Holy fuck! We should do this tomorrow.
No. The Blu-ray releases tomorrow and the 4K, so I'll pick mine up at some point this week. But Larry Zerner has done an incredible job of keeping everybody kind of updated on the status of what's going on with Friday the 13th, and kind of because he was in one of the movies. B, he's close to the project. He knows, he's kind of he knows what's going on. He's a lawyer. He can explain this stuff better than anybody else can. And of course,
Shelley, right?
He played Shelley in Part 3. Yeah.
I just saw a picture of him in that movie, dude. He looks like the fat version of Ryan Reynolds in the movie Just Friends.
He was a good character. I liked him in Friday the 13th.
He looks exactly like him. Yeah.
I actually just watched Part 3 the other day when I was doing this room. I was like, I need something to put on. And I was like, I haven't seen 3 in a while. And I put 3 on because, of course, I knew we were going to be talking about this and stuff. So I know this kind of 2 weeks ago. So a couple weeks ago, we were kind of on our break. Art says Halloween Ends is filming this month, but what day? I believe James Jude Courtney actually said, let me think, February 10th, I believe. I think it's been pushed back. I don't know if the whole production is pushed back, but James Jude Courtney begins filming Michael stuff on February 10th. And he said that, I believe, in a cameo to a fan. That news broke. So we don't do standalone videos about all of this stuff. If it's something big, we'll do he says, damn it. I know. There's been some talk, everybody, because I believe they were supposed to start filming like this week or like second or third week of January. And I know when he was like, yeah, I start filming Halloween Ends on February 10th, everybody went,
What do you mean?
Everybody's like,
what do you mean?
What? Like, why? What do you mean? What do you mean? But I don't think that's. I wouldn't get worried about it being pushed back yet. I mean, maybe a week or two, but I don't think I'm not. Listen, I don't think that it's going to be pushed back to like 2023. I don't think that, or 2022. I mean, I don't think that's going to happen. Wait, it is 2022. God, I hate myself. 2023.
It's the beginning of the year, man. We still got a while.
It is. I'm still. I don't even know. I don't know what day it is. I don't know what time it is. I don't know who I am. Friday the 13th. The case is allegedly officially over, and Victor Miller once again owns his screenplay. But again, not as simple as it sounds. So let's talk about this. It's been a long road, but it appears we're heading towards some sort of closure in regards to the Friday the 13th rights battle. Friday the 13th Part 3 star, that's a lot of threes, and entertainment lawyer Larry Zerner has been keeping fans updated on the progress of the messy legal battle over the franchise's rights that's pitted Sean Cunningham and Horror Inc. against original screenwriter Victor Miller. According to Zerner, the case is officially over as Cunningham and Horror Inc. has failed to file a cert petition by the 4 p.m. deadline. As of writing, Victor Miller is allegedly still the official rights holder to the original Friday the 13th screenplay in the U.S. only. Now, let's think about this.
Yeah,
he only owns the rights to Friday the 13th, 1980, the original movie. That does not mean that Victor Miller owns the rights to Friday the 13th, the franchise. Okay, two very different things here. Two very different things.
Yeah, just wait until you hear the list.
There we go. Sorry. What were you gonna say?
No, that's fine. I was honestly being seconded.
before I kick your ass out.
Yeah.
What was I saying? Oh, okay. So Larry Zerner, I retweeted these quite a bit. He actually tweeted, "It's 4 p.m. and I still don't see a cert petition filed with the Supreme Court in the Friday the 13th case. What does this mean? Well, it means the case is officially over and Victor Miller owns the rights to his screenplay in Friday the 13th, but only in the U.S." Let me do this. I should have pulled the full tweets up. I didn't realize it wasn't the whole thing in the article here, guys. Sorry about that. Let me doing it live. That's what you get.
We're doing it live.
Doing it live. That's what you get. Let me go over to our Twitter here. Victor Miller owns the rights to his screenplay in Friday the 13th, but only in the U.S. Now, does this mean that the parties have settled or are close to settling and a new movie is forthcoming? Not necessarily. It could just mean that Sean Cunningham realized that a cert petition was a real long shot and didn't want to waste his money. However, the fact that he didn't file a cert petition makes it very slightly more likely that the parties are working out a resolution, but I wouldn't hold my breath. So let's break that down a little bit. Art said, "I love it when you guys do it live." When we screw up, when I don't have the right crap pulled up. So Victor Miller owns the rights to the original film. Sean Cunningham and Horror Inc. failed to file the petition that would bring this into like another round, like to basically file an appeal. And that means that, like Mr. Zerner said here, I think he kind of realized he would just be losing money because the outcome isn't going to be any different. He would basically be losing money filing an appeal to try to get his way, and I think it's kind of obvious that he wasn't going to. Now, like Larry Zerner said, the fact that he didn't file an appeal might point to the fact that they're working on resolving this thing and they're kind of coming to an agreement. But like he says, I wouldn't hold my breath. Can Victor and Sean just make their own separate movies? Not really, because Victor only owns U.S. rights and only to the first script, and Sean owns adult hockey mask wearing Jason, but can't legally use him in a movie without Victor's permission. It's complicated. That's
what makes it complicated right there. That's where like it's pissing me off is the fact that they're fighting over who owns what version of I keep mixing these two up, of Jason, is who owns which version of it. And it's like, guys, we're splitting hairs now at this fucking point.
You're splitting hairs.
Yeah.
And I feel like this points out to me, just like we said at the beginning, you need each other.
Yeah.
For this to work. Like Blumhouse or A24 cannot approach one of them and be like, hey, we want to make a Friday the 13th movie. We want your permission to do it. Sean Cunningham can't do it because he needs Victor Miller's permission in order to use adult hockey mask Jason. But Victor Miller doesn't own adult hockey mask Jason. If you remember in the original film, Pamela Voorhees is the killer in the original film. Jason is not even in the original Friday the 13th until the last 5 minutes of the movie when he does his gross jump out of the water and grab Alice in the boat. That's all we see of Jason. So it's like they literally can't make a movie without each other. That's why this whole thing seems ridiculous in my eyes, because I'm like, look, why couldn't you have just avoided the whole lawsuit in the first place?
Yeah, I'm curious who sparked the lawsuit and what was their reasoning behind it. Because if you could track back to what their reasoning behind it, I'm sure you could find some common compromise.
Common ground, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, you would think, look, again, we have made such a successful franchise. This has gone way further than we ever expected it to. This is a win-win for us, man. Like, we did a good thing. We did a really cool thing. But it's just, I don't know. It's a
bitch and a half to follow up. That's all I gotta say,
man. Art's
just
let them retcon the F1 ending and bring back Alice in this Voorhees for a 40-year later final battle and make it a trilogy.
Yeah, why not?
Oh my god, that's gonna everybody. I kind of low-key worry about that they're gonna bring back all of these franchises and it's just gonna be like Heather Langenkamp against Freddy, let's go, and it's gonna be like Alice against Pamela Voorhees, let's go. Although Pamela Voorhees would have to be like Jason because she was decapitated at the end. So
was Michael
in
H2O.
But it wasn't really Michael though.
Oh, well, fuck off. You and that fucking plot armor bullshit.
If you go with Resurrection, it wasn't Michael.
Yeah.
So, well, I don't know.
Still.
Dude, but... could you imagine if it's it's literally like Jason, well, you can't use the hockey mask, but it Pamela comes back as Ghost Pamela instead of Ghost Jason. You get what? You get her
turtleneck.
You get a
turtleneck instead of the hockey mask. The red turtleneck. Oh, she looks like Freddy Krueger's fucking grandmother.
Could you imagine that coming at you?
I would be scared too.
That with a machete.
Yeah, I'd be scared. I'd stay away from her range.
I know, man.
Bro, I died laughing at myself. She looks like Freddy Krueger's grandmother. I'm not gonna lie.
Here's the thing. That original film was great. It really was. But at this point, at where the franchise is at currently, people don't want to see Pamela Voorhees. They want to see Jason. They want to see full-on hockey mask, machete Jason. That's who they want to see.
That's a dagger.
I know. But you get what I'm saying. They want to see full-on Jason. They don't want to see Pamela anymore. And it's just kind of, it's a shame. So let's finish out Larry's earnest tweets. Hopefully we'll hear some good news in the future. In the meantime, this Friday is Sean's 80th birthday. So everyone, please wish Sean a very happy birthday. No trolling, and we will see what 2022 brings. Happy New Year, everyone. And again, I don't say none of what we're saying. We're having a good time. We're joking around. None of what we're saying is anything against Sean or Victor. I mean, again, you two created an incredible franchise that people adore. I just don't understand why you're fighting over it.
Yeah.
I really don't. Art, absolutely. Happy birthday to Sean, man. I know we're a couple weeks late. He's been 80 for a few weeks now, but I mean, happy birthday to him. I mean, it's pretty cool.
He's been 80 for a few weeks. It's whatever.
So I don't know. Just things to think about. So kind of going back to the Bloody Disgusting article, What does this mean for the future of the Friday the 13th franchise and Jason Voorhees? It's complicated, but the two sides are working on or having reached a resolution would be the best case scenario for horror fans. If the two sides fail to reach any sort of agreement, here's how the rights break down. I'm forgetting how to read. According to Zerner, we already read all that stuff. Basically, neither one of them can do this without the other. To put it simply, my understanding is that Victor Miller could allow a studio to produce a Friday the 13th remake, but it could only be released in the United States. The United States. What's new to this writer is that Sean can't legally use Jason Voorhees in a movie without Victor's permission, and that it truly is crippling. The hope here is that the two parties can come to some sort of agreement and move forward together. Otherwise, it's going to be exceptionally hard to find a workaround to the legal ramifications. If you'd like to learn more about the entire case, you can click here, yada, 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 yada. You can click there. I'll put this link in the chat real quick. And this is on Bloody Disgusting. If you just Google Friday the 13th bloodydisgusting.com, that'll pop up. And they have their full interview with Larry Zerner himself. Talking about, his kind of version of what's going on. So the question here, knowing everything that we know, the big question is, will we see another Friday the 13th movie soon? Anytime soon?
No. I'm going to say no, yes. I'm sorry if you're waiting for a suspense, but no. That's a definite no for me, dog.
For me, that doesn't mean... That's not a dig at them like they're not going to be able to figure it out. That's not what I mean.
It's just the production time.
It's going to be the production time. They still have to, and who knows, maybe they're ironing out all of those issues right now as we speak, but they still have to kind of iron out all of the issues with who owns what. They have to iron out what studio they would go with. I mean, there is a lot.
And who knows, maybe there's a script out there already. Maybe they already had a script and they're trying to figure out the legal battles of it before the script even goes to a studio. Right. Who knows?
But right, which they would have to. They would have to figure out a way to work together and to kind of figure this whole thing out before they could ever make a movie. A few things that you have to keep in mind. Again, Victor Miller owns the U.S. rights to the original 1980 film. Jason is, again, in it for maybe 6 seconds. And he's just the zombified kid jumping out of the water. He grabs Alice. She wakes up. Pamela Voorhees is the main antagonist. And Sean Cunningham owns the beautiful hockey mask Jason that we all know and love. As the guys at Womp Stomp Films call him Ghost Jason. Which of course is amazing.
That's pretty badass name.
Everybody loves Ghost Jason. You got Kid. Oh, that's not Jason. That gave better to Jason. You have Kid Jason, and then you have actual Ghost Jason. So I don't know, man. I don't think we're gonna see a movie anytime soon.
No.
Because again, they have to figure all of that stuff out. Could Victor Miller work with, let's say, Blumhouse to reboot the franchise? Of course he could. But if that were to happen, people better really tamper their expectations because Pamela would have to be the killer. It would basically almost have to follow the same formula with Alice, Marcy, Jack. I don't remember all those laundry list of characters. For whatever reason, I can never remember all of the characters in the Friday the 13th franchise. There's just too many of them, and they're too forgettable. They're really like forgettable. They're there to die basically, other than like the main couple. And of course you could use Pamela, but I know there's a lot of people that argue maybe they should use Pamela. When they do finally reboot it, maybe they should do a true remake of the original film where you use Pamela as the main killer. But the problem with that is that's not what the majority of horror fans want to see.
Yeah. Exactly.
And I do think that the 2009 reboot actually handled that really well, because it does pay ode to that. It nods to the fact that did happen, even though Jason's the main killer. It kind of shows a flashback of Jason seeing his mom decapitated. And if they did use Jason, he would need a complete makeover. No hockey mask, no machete, nothing that would make you think of that ghost Jason as we know him, because Sean still owns him, even though he can do nothing with him.
It's kind of weird to think of like
I don't know.
them owning like a fucking supernatural killing machine. You know what I mean, it's kind of
I
weird.
know. Yeah, and it's just funny because it's
can't
like
own that.
I know. After all of this, he's still locked in the closet. You know what I mean? He's still, you just can't do anything with him. And of course, the other thing you have to think about is even if, again, say Blumhouse approached Victor Miller and they're like, hey, look at what Halloween just did, bro. Halloween 2018 was the second highest grossing horror movie of all time, bro. Like, let's talk some Friday. You would have to remember that that'll never happen, because unless the project is a small indie movie or a fan film, no studio is going to put as much time and energy and finances and resources into a movie that you can't distribute overseas.
And also, if it's not going to have Jason. So, like, if, say they reach out to any other studios, it's like, hey, we want to make another Friday the 13th movie. They're going to be like, great, what's Jason going to look like? And they're like, we don't have Jason.
We don't know.
We have Pamela. And they're like, Pamela who?
Bro, they'd be like,
I'm good.
They'd be like, so what's Jason good? Well, we got to talk about the design of Jason. Who's Jason?
Yeah, right. It's like they're gonna act like he never existed. They'd be like, yeah, who's Jason? It's all about Pamela.
We just Dr. Strange to this thing.
Yeah, no studio is gonna want to touch a Friday the 13th project if Jason Voorhees or Ghost Jason is not gonna be in there, because he is the money shot. He is the money maker. He is the one that was gonna pull box office numbers.
Well, and that's the thing, is even if Victor Miller did work with somebody, it can only be in the U.S. And the U.S. market may be their biggest market, but it's not their only one. If they're bringing Jason back, they want to see numbers at the international box office. And if
you're gonna have to, you can't necessarily rely, as a movie coming from the United States, you can't just rely on the national box office. You have, like, obviously. With that being said, I mean, the U.S. has the movie industry on lock. Like, that's where the movies come from. And if you're only restricted to national box office, that's going to make a lot of studios hesitant enough to not want to touch it, because they have a whole other region of untapped potential that they can't access because of this fucking lawsuit. So no studio is going to want to touch it at all if they can't reach international box office.
If global distribution of the film is not an option, I don't see them thinking it's worth the investment to do that. Especially,
no movie is worth the investment at that point.
Even if Victor Miller and Sean Cunningham really came together and they were like, hey, let's do this. We like this whole, like, put the lawsuit behind us. It's water under the bridge. Let's do this thing. Jason is back. We can do whatever we want. If you can only distribute it in the United States, which I guess if they came together, then they could. But I'm not sure how the distribution works. I don't know if they would have to go through a separate thing. I'm not positive. But I thought this was interesting. I pulled the numbers from Friday the 13th, 2009, from the Michael Bay reboot of Friday the 13th from 2009, had a $19 million budget. It had a $19 million budget.
Michael Bay was expecting some fireworks in that movie then.
Well, and there were a lot of things I really enjoyed about the remake, and there were some things I was like, why is this in there? I don't know, whatever. It made $65 million domestically. So it made its budget back. It made a profit in the US. But it also made $26.5 million internationally. Almost 30% of Friday the 13th, 2009's earnings were made overseas for a $91.5 million total.
Almost, and for a 26% on Rotten Tomatoes too. Like,
I know it didn't do that.
Like, fucking mint for a subpar movie. It made bank.
That proves to you they're never gonna. I mean, come on, 26.5 mil is I mean, that's more than than its budget right there.
Wait, you said 19 million was their budget?
$19 million budget. And
Bro, their box office was 92.7 million. Like, what the fuck? You made a profit, my guy.
I know.
And yet still, no one is understanding the fact that this is a cash cow.
Well,
do away with like making a good story at this point. Like, if you throw a Friday 13th, you're gonna gather some box office. Obviously, people are gonna be pissed because Jason's not in there, but you're gonna cash some box office no matter what.
Yeah. A, yes, it's a cash cow, and B, they're never going to They're never going to. What am I saying? They are never going to only distribute a movie in the U.S. because it wouldn't make any sense to. You know what I mean? There'd be no reason that they want that 30% of that box office that they would be missing out on. You know what I mean? So I don't know. I kind of in closing here. Not in closing of the show. We're not going anywhere yet. But Victor Miller and Sean Cunningham really can't do anything without each other here. And it almost makes me feel like other than each of these guys knowing what they're legally allowed to do and what they legally own, are we really any closer to getting a movie? Is there another movie coming? No, I don't think we're really any closer because, again, the only difference is Sean is done with the appeals. They each know what they own. They know, legally it's been dished out what each one of them can do, but it still doesn't solve the fact that neither one of them can do anything without the other, can really do anything meaningful without the other. You know what I mean?
Yep.
So, and again, it's great that we're at this point that the lawsuit's over, but it's almost more infuriating because it's like we could have avoided this. Like, we didn't need to do this in the first place. Like, literally, we could have forgotten all about this thing and just came together, like, pull a John Carpenter, slide that royalty check in my pocket, and we're good. But so I don't know, Miguel, your thoughts on where it's at right now, on where the lawsuit's at, where the franchise is kind of sitting idle.
I mean, I've kind of made myself clear in regards to it. Honestly, like, if we could just come to some type of base compromise and just throw a movie out, like, you guys will definitely understand why this lawsuit needed to be done, like, a year ago or even before that. And if you look at all the fan films that they've had over the course of this lawsuit, you can tell that the fans want it. And if the original owners are not willing to give it, guess what? Guess what, guys? Fan films are doing way better than what we've done in a long time. Like, fan films have evolved to become damn near close enough to be your usual movie production experience. If you look at Black Christmas and Don't Hike Up Alone, like, all of them, they are top caliber movies.
Just looked it up. Never Hike Alone has got 3.3 million views on YouTube. Never Hike in the Snow has 1.1 million views. Disappear, which is like the music video they did that Womp Stomp did, has almost 70K views. That should show you that people do want it. Yep. Like, it's not, and of course those are, not everybody knows about those. You know what I mean? They don't have the same distribution and the same marketing as a
but like
even film would. But
even
the horror community wants more Jason. They want more Friday the 13th.
Yeah, but even without like the distribution or marketing plans that they have, for them to reach that many people, it's insane. Sorry, I gotta sneeze. Oh God! But okay, but you gotta understand, like, even without the distribution or marketing aspects that they had compared to the studios, for them to reach like that many, like millions of viewers, should say enough that the fans want to see more Jason.
Right.
And the fact that they're just pussyfooting around infuriates me. That's all.
Yeah. So, guys, let us know if you're watching right now or if you're watching after the fact. Please let us know what your thoughts are on where the franchise is at, on the is the lawsuit in its final chapter? Yes, pun intended. Friday the 13th, the final chapter. Is the lawsuit in its final chapter? Are we at the end? What do you think? Are we close to an agreement? And it's kind of fun to even talk about this. Say everything again. Best case scenario. Where should the franchise go? Say everything. The Victor and Sean came to an agreement. They found a studio that backed them. They were looking for pitches. They were looking for somebody to pitch them the reboot of Friday the 13th. Do we go into sequel territory? Do we do a sequel to Part 4? Do we do a sequel to the very last? Do you do a sequel to Jason Goes to Hell or Jason X? Please don't do a sequel to Jason X. Please, I can't stand.
Please
look,
do
I know
Jason
people.
X.
I know people love Jason X. I can't stand Jason X. Like the last time I tried to watch it, I had just moved into this house, and I don't even know where Julia was, but it was late, and I had drank like a couple of beers, and I was sitting on my couch watching it, and then I woke up, and it was on the menu. It was on the menu, and it was like 3 a.m., and I was like, what? I mean, I fell asleep watching it. I was like, I just can't do it, man. I don't know if I think they should go sequel territory. I honestly, and again, we don't know where the Never Hike Alone series is headed. I know there are, like I said, several, I think at least 3 or 4 more films in that franchise. Give it to Vincent DeSanti and to Womp Stomp Films, man. Give it to them. Let that be his feature directorial debut, man, because that would be incredible. I mean, those fan film, and we're gonna do once we do. I know I'm Purely and Simply Evil. We got to get a couple more episodes of that going. But we once we finish the Halloween franchise, we'll do other horror films scattered in there as well. I know we want to do some winter horror films while we're kind of in that state of mind in that season, and we'll probably do the Friday the 13th films next as our next like big franchise watch. We'll do that next. So we will do the Never Hike Alone franchise and some of the fan films in there as well, because there are some incredible fan films.
I would love to see some of them, because you've talked a big game on them, and I was pleasantly surprised with Black Christmas. Granted, coming from It's Me Billy, that's the fan film. Yeah. But like coming from watching Black Christmas and seeing how much of a satire I feel that was, It's Me Billy really made that much more. It made Black Christmas much more scary than what I thought it would be. So, right. And it's like I said, like I am a firm believer that these fan films, they're gonna grow into being something to be reckoned with. Like the movie studios are literally shaking in their boots right now with how well these fan films are doing.
You also have to be kind of careful though too. Like you can't step on toes too much, or else I mean, you could be at risk. They're like, you're using our property to, that's why you see at the beginning of all those film films, not for profit. It's like it's a big deal. You have to be careful with those. But there are, I think it just goes to show you, these franchises are still very viable, and there is a lot of life left to them. Yeah. And I think B, it shows you that there are people who, really creative people, who can breathe new life into it in ways that isn't just a typical reboot, that isn't just telling the same story over and over again. I mean, again, we're talking about Never Hike Alone. This is the Jason from Never Hike Alone. I mean, this is fan film Jason, and it's cooler than some of the actual Jasons that we've gotten in other films.
Yeah, because this one doesn't look that stock. I don't know. There's something about stocky Jason I just kind of don't vibe with.
That Kane Hodder, like,
yeah,
ripped.
And granted, he did a good job, but it's just it's like he was a boy that was bullied. Like, let's be honest.
Oh yeah.
So it's not like he would have like gotten buff, sucking up the lake and everything. So like, him just having being a regular size kind of guy with the same just unnatural superpowers.
Yeah.
Oh my god, that sounded like Michael for a second. But let's stay away from that real
Yeah,
quick.
he's a zombie. Jason's definitely supernatural though,
Yeah,
Where
yeah,
Michael
yeah.
Michael kind of skirts the line. Jason is like, bro's 150%. Like
Yeah, yeah.
he's a zombie.
Yeah.
So yeah, I mean, I don't know. It would be really cool, man, if we could get Savini Jason in there from the Friday the 13th game. Of course, a nod to Tom Savini, who did the special effects makeup. But this was one of the playable characters in the Friday the 13th game. And I don't know how you would do it. You'd have to tell a hell of a story to make it work. But that looks amazing, man. I always thought that version of Jason just looked incredible.
With the spikes and everything and the glowing red eyes?
Mm-hmm.
Boy, he looks like a character from Dark Souls. The fuck? Get out of here. You think some teenagers?
We go from that to that.
Yeah, right? You think some teenagers that are just trying to fuck are gonna take down that Jason? No. I'm just saying.
Yeah.
Ain't nobody going to a camp is gonna survive that Jason. Also, have you played those games? Those games are I haven't really touched
the Friday the 13th game?
Yeah.
Yeah, I played it. I have it. It's over here on my shelf. We'll have to play it one day. When you come up, we'll play it. Honestly, I haven't played it that many times. I've played it, I played it when I first got it. I got real into it, but I kind of fell off of it. But yeah, man, I don't know. My gut tells me that they'll just reboot it. I don't think they're going to do another sequel. I don't think they're going to do.
Yeah, 100%. They are 100%
I think they'll do
going for a reboot.
Now, whether or not they do a soft reboot, whether or not they just include, whether they include Vincent and the Womp Stomp, Jason in those films, because they do kind of tie in. Although if they included those films, it would have to be a sequel to the sequels, because those films tie into the other Friday sequels as well. I believe, I'm pretty sure that Never Hike in the Snow, which is the prequel to Never Hike Alone, takes place after Jason Takes Manhattan. If it's been a while since I've watched it. I would have to double check. But yeah, so I don't know. I guess it would have to depend on the story, on whether I want a complete start from scratch remake, or whether or not I would want a direct sequel to the Never Hike Alone stuff or to the original story. What I don't want is I don't want them to follow the Halloween formula and be like, we're going to do a sequel to the original. Yep, sequel to the original. Yeah. Let's do it. I don't want that. That's like, come on, man. I don't want that. So please let us know in the comments below if you're watching after the fact, if you're watching right now, what would you do? What would you want to see from a complete remake of Friday the 13th, or, when the franchise gets back on its tracks, when it stands back up, when Jason puts that hockey mask back on. What do you want to see? Where do you want the franchise to go? So let's go over to the chat real quick. Art says, does it snow in Kentucky? Let me tell you, buddy.
Yes, it does.
Kentucky just got rocked by snow on Thursday. Some places in Kentucky got almost a foot of snow on Thursday, shut part of I-75 down. It was kind of wild. I
don't know where you live, but if it snows over there, I hope your drivers, the people that drive in your town, are a lot smarter than ours. Because for some reason, when it snows, we tend to just take our brain and forget it in the front door when we leave. Because for fuck's sakes, they drive like idiots. And it was by far, like, I'm talking like there was like 2 main highways that had like 12-car pileups. It was ridiculous.
They said there was an estimated 500 wrecked or abandoned cars on the interstate in Kentucky.
Yeah, luckily no one, from what I understand, no one has died from these wrecks. No. But the property damage went skyrocketed because of how many times people were wrecking and abandoning their car to cause some sort of damage along their rides. But yeah, it snowed like crazy last week. I know I have the sniffles right now, as you can see. But that's not it's not because of COVID. It's just the fact that like I work outside a lot. So I had to work through that snowstorm. So yeah, your boy got some sniffles now, but
yeah. But I mean, like I've said this before. I'm a teacher, and the kids have been in school literally one day in the last 2 weeks. So, well, in the last week, I shouldn't say that because we were on Christmas break, and then they came back one day. We were out Thursday and Friday, and we were out today because of ice. So it's been kind of crazy. And do you guys enjoy hiking? I do enjoy hiking. Miguel and I used to go hiking all the time, actually, with a group of our buddies. We haven't been in a while, really since COVID. I feel like every sentence now it's like, well, before COVID, you know what I mean? Before COVID, we did enjoy hiking.
Yeah, I went hiking like the other week with my girlfriend, and that was the last time I've hiked. But the time before that, I haven't hiked in so long. Yeah. The last time I hiked before that, it was probably one of the worst or best idea I've ever had. I hiked at night, and that was a big pucker factor for me. So I haven't hiked since then until recently. So both of them were just as fun, but yeah, I at that when after that night hike, I was like, maybe my hiking days are over because I was tired after that.
Yeah. Art says I want to see a new segment called Brad After the Fact. It's got to be real dramatic though, where like the camera comes in, it's just like. You know what really grinds my gears? I need it to be like something really like dramatic and serious like that. Maybe put like one of the Myers masks on or something.
Oh my God, no.
He said Texas had only snowed for 3 days in the last 5 years. Oh, bro, yeah, I would.
Okay, so you're in Texas.
Yeah. So yeah, craziness, man. Crazy, a lot going on in the movie community. We're at 1 hour and 21 minutes. Again, if you're hanging out with us right now, please be sure leave us a like, and if you're watching after the fact, please comment down below. We want to hear from you, and we're really happy to be back. Super excited about the year ahead. A ton of new movies, a ton of new content on its way as well. Reminder, next week, before we get out of here, next week, I say I'm losing my mind. I forget like what day it is. Especially with all the winter weather and stuff. I'm like, I don't even know. I don't know what's going on. On Saturday morning, our most anticipated movies of 2022, we're going to give our top 10 list of what movies we are looking forward to the most this year. So that'll be a fun show, show we've wanted to do for a little while. And that'll be Saturday at 10:30 Eastern in the morning. Again, our schedule kind of flip-flopped a little bit from what we did before. We were doing Mondays and Fridays. Now we're doing Monday and Saturday. Miguel got a new job, just kind of figuring stuff out in the new year. So, Miguel, anything else to add before we get out of here on this first episode back?
Yeah, man. Like, I'm really excited to be back with everything. Obviously, like I said, new venue. So it'll look different, by next time we have our show. But yeah, a lot of new things coming in. I'm excited to see what more Brad and I have in plans. We do have some more things coming into play. I'm supposed to be coming over next week to, for a content day. So I'm excited to see how that will play out. So either it'll go great or just be a bunch of butt fuckery. So we'll see how that goes.
Yeah. Art said, I hope Halloween ends is bro. Of course, dude, Halloween ends is it's in my maybe top 2 or 3 most anticipated movies of next year. My mom, hey mom, she said, remember Betty? Yes, the Betty White celebration on the 17th. I assume they're going to do something. We talked about this. We had a little in memoriam segment at the beginning of the show. Is that in the movie theater, Mom? Remind me. I think it is. But they're doing a whole Betty White celebration about her life. Of course, it was supposed to be her 100th birthday, unfortunately. But then, she passed. So that'll be on the 17th. Art said, Miguel, take some NyQuil and drink some hot tea.
Oh, trust me. Yeah, that's advice people have told me a lot. So yeah. I am on it.
He said Betty White was legit awesome. Yeah, man. She was something else. We talked about that for quite a bit at the beginning of the show. Halloween Kills extended cut. I hope they just make one soon. Michael Myers has taken most of Jason Kills. Yeah, I know. I agree. But I don't know. I'm a little scared. I know, and we're gonna do an entire Halloween Ends episode as well. Where we're gonna talk about Halloween Ends, like just nothing but everything we know, our predictions for Halloween Ends, who dies, who lives, how the franchise ends, or how the franchise doesn't end. You know, we're gonna do a whole episode on that. I'm a little scared for Halloween Ends. I know this is no secret. David Gordon Green said that the radio tower that you see at the beginning of Halloween Kills, like across, like when the cops are, like Michael's going kind of through the alleys and stuff like that, and he's, you know, the cops are running and Loomis is running after him and they're all looking for him in the flashback. And the one kind of looks out over Haddonfield and the cops are looking and there's a radio tower. David Gordon Green has said that radio tower will play a significant role in Halloween Ends, and I don't know how to take that. I could be like, well, maybe
origin story, I guess.
Maybe the final battle takes place at the radio tower, which I think is stupid. But there's also even been speculation of like maybe something with the brain, like the waves, like the sound waves coming off of the radio tower made him crazy. Like I hope it's not that. That seems like the biggest cop out I've ever seen in my life on how to. Don't explain it again. Don't explain Michael Myers. He's Michael Myers. He doesn't need to be explained. He's crazy. Explanation enough. He's crazy, dude.
Leave it like that. Yeah,
that's it. Leave it alone. He's a psycho. He. There is no reason. He's crazy. The Betty White thing is only in theaters, limited theaters. It's on twice. And she also says yes, you need some medicine and an interior decorator.
Thanks, Tanya. Love you.
You need a decorator. So guys, we're at an hour and 26 minutes. I think that's going to do it for episode number 56 of Let's Talk Movies. Please be sure to let us know what you think of the Friday the 13th lawsuit. If you're watching after the fact, please let us know what you think in the comments below. Leave us a like. I will get the video scheduled or the stream scheduled for this Saturday at 10:30. Once again, our top 10 most anticipated movies of the year. That's going to be a fun show. So guys, take it easy. Be sure to follow us on Twitter, Instagram, and TikTok at We Talk the Movies. And we will talk to you guys soon. Go hang out with the We Watch the Movie guys. They're on right now. Their 10th anniversary celebration. Take it easy. See ya.
Peace.